Okay, good afternoon everybody, and welcome to yet another VanillaIP webinar. Delighted you could all join us today. And today we're going to be talking about eternity license margin opportunity. Now this is maybe not one of the biggest technology subjects that we've covered, but as we think about our businesses and the growth of our businesses and the value of our businesses running forward, I think this could be one of the most fundamental choices that you look at in the next few months. I'll take you through the process of it and the reasoning behind why VanillaIP as an organisation is still maintaining this proposition for its reseller channel as part of the partnership commitment that we've got with the guys we're working with. So just to kick off, I'll just run through the past webinars that we've been looking through, and hopefully you've all had an opportunity to join us for these, but if you haven't had a chance to see any of these webinars yet, they are all available on the VanillaIP website. But over the last little while we've been looking at and covering really interesting revenue opportunity products like the omnichannel contact center and dashboard services, the flexible seating and flexible working tools, and of course the all-important call recording elements that come and are controlled much more strongly these days by GDPR, MiFID II and PCI compliance. Along with that, we've recently run a reminder webinar on the bespoke packaging, and this is an area where truly our partners are seeing a great deal of advantage as they're able to attack the simple small end of the marketplace, as well as delivering appropriate extensions for more feature-rich users, etc. So do nip back and have a look at those. The last two that went through had some of the most immediate reaction we've ever seen from webinars. So short of you guys all emailing in later on to buy eternity licenses for everything you own, I don't think you can beat the reaction for the education and charity user. We've certainly seen partners really score heavily with the education license that was brought out, and if you need more detail about that and the charity user, do please get your channel manager to speak to you. And then of course the Akixi product, which was the last one that we presented to you, and I know many of you have taken the demonstration product and are partway through training your own salespeople in pitching the proposition, etc. So very exciting times for us, and today we just wanted to do another one of those reminders about something we've been offering for some time, but something which is fundamental to the end game, which is profit and margin that we want to deliver into our businesses. So let's crack on and just set the scene for this. We know in our marketplace there is a split between sophisticated technology and let's call them dial tone services. So dial tone services are very much, as far as we're concerned, the table stakes for us and for you as providers of communication solutions to the small business sector. But in their unsophisticated way, they are a vulnerability when it comes to the profitability and sustainability of our businesses. When certain providers come under pressure, those who can't react to the changing marketplaces of multimedia or a change in work practices, there will be a price erosion in this area. The dial tone products will not sustain the margins that we perhaps have enjoyed over the last little while. And part of the philosophy that we've got is, if there is a race to the bottom, that we separate ourselves, or we separate our product lines from dial tone to more sophisticated products. But eternity licenses are here to help protect that dial tone element and the margin capability of that dial tone element going forward. So let's just have a look at how we've shaped the proposition and where this begins to fit in. You can see that when we talk about building the margin stack, when we talk about building the profitability of the base going forward, we have this representative area called the core proposition, and the core proposition may be considered to be the standard PBX services, the voice services to the desk, etc. And they're all very important. They're a fundamental, they're a totally consumed area of business by most of our customers. But they are the simplistic ones and the ones that are having or will have the price challenged. Now, in order to bring customers across, that particular service area does need to be catered for. And for those of you who have not been introduced by the channel managers, or you weren't at the partner day in Snowdonia a month or so ago, this is where we've provided a great offer of 12 months free smart user license for any of your existing revenue customers, and they can be mobile customers of yours, connectivity customers of yours, any customer that's paying you bill. Because it is important for us all to do some land grab, to go and get our customers, go and secure our customers into the cloud world. So those table stakes products, those core products are vital for us, but to win the business forward. But you can see that we are supporting our partners in this stack, including mobility products, contact center products, and also bringing in third-party products like the Akixi, which is coming through us, or like any other product that you might want to bring out at the reseller level and combine in with your proposition. And so above the table stakes dial tone stuff, we've got the call and contact center stuff, we've got enhanced reporting, mobility, flexibility, that collaboration piece which people have been talking about for a long time, and we do see starting to evolve as the working practices have changed. Integration is one, and I know many of you are waiting for us to get to the launch of our new relationship with Mondago, but we do have the Unity products which are very strongly allowing people to engage with CRMs. And then we've got the compliance cover, the security cover, those elements that you can sell on at a premium. Finally on this list, as I put them down just to set the scene, we've got this self-management and on-demand development. These are going to be critical when we start to move customers up from dial tone, up from table stakes, and into the higher revenue, higher margin propositions, which will be sustainable over the longer term. So that sets a scene for our proposition, and it's just a going over it again for you guys, because I know that you buy into the fact that we're there about creating revenue and wealth for you as resellers, and we're very committed to that. But let's just have a look at eternity and what eternity means. So an eternity license is simply a perpetual license. There is a capital cost to the license, and then there is an ongoing maintenance charge. But effectively what it allows you to do is to purchase one of these licenses, one of these core long-lasting licenses, and map out a different price point over a period of time. And I've put two examples down just to sort of clarify that how that happens. So I'm going to use the Smart User, which is the core license, as I keep saying. The SaaS price for that, the month-by-month price for that is 362 pence, or £3.62. The Smart User eternity value for that is $59.28. So a single capital charge of $59.28 is then followed by a monthly maintenance charge of £1.65. And there are a couple of ways of looking at this when it comes to your accounting. And the first one might be to write down the price of that package over 5 years. And if we take the £59.28, divide it by 60 and add it to the 165, unsurprisingly it comes to a general price of £2.64 per month. So that's one way of writing it down over the 5 years. Obviously after the 5 years it then falls to its maintenance only price of £1.65. Other partners and other accounting processes may suggest that if you write it down only over 30 months, or maybe over a contract period of 36 months, you actually consume, or you run at a slightly lower margin, a lower profit, because you're going to assume a price maybe of £3.63, that sort of price, in the ongoing cost. But then at 30 months, or before your customer comes out of contract perhaps, that license has already fallen down to the 165. So it's simply a method of advanced purchasing this core license and then being able to run it at a much lower rate going forward. And you can see from doing that you're defending yourself against margin pressure in the long run, and you're creating a different price proposition perhaps to go out and win business in the first instance. The terms and conditions of these things are not very complicated at all, and I'm going to show you a slightly wider group of licenses that you can buy Eternity from us. We are trying to keep as many Eternity propositions available to you. We can only do it where we buy in a similar way. If we're buying SaaS, we'll have to pass on a SaaS proposition to you. But you can purchase these licenses at any time. So if you started off working with us on a SaaS model, a month-by-month model with your Eternity license, with your smart user licenses, you could make a decision downstream that it is a good time to invest, use working capital to invest in a longer term return, and you can buy Eternity license at that point. These licenses are not specifically related to any individual customer. UBOS will control all of these licenses for you, and if you buy 100 Eternity licenses and some of your original customers are to leave, they will automatically be applied or underwritten against other charges being made to you for other customers on the base. You can of course use them in conjunction with any of the SaaS licenses. So a customer that you build may have an assumption on an Eternity license for the smart user, but you have other licenses such as maybe soft phone clients or call center propositions maybe working as SaaS, or indeed you might have a percentage of the licenses that you consume for a customer based on the Eternity model, and then just have an overflow, a sort of fluid group that is bought on SaaS. So there's no problem with mixing and matching any of the service licenses or the service types around here. And of course, volume is a great attractor to us. So if you want to sit down and talk about purchasing these in 1,000 license blocks, then we can negotiate on the price. And 1,000 may seem quite high, but if you roll back to what I was originally alluding to with our current offer for free smart user licenses for 12 months, when you're migrating your own current revenue users across to the VanillaIP cloud products, it may be that you run that proposition and get a whole bunch of customers on, and then in 12 months, 15 months, 18 months time, you may choose to convert all of those to an Eternity model at the same time, in which case happy days, we'll sit down and discuss the pricing with you. As I suggested, it's not just the smart user that comes in as Eternity. There are a range of products that we've made available as an Eternity proposition. So if you've established a base with us already, or if you're planning a base that you might want to migrate or create with us, here are the core figures that you might want to work with. The smart user itself is the most commonly purchased Eternity license, because I think for all of us we can see just a straightforward stability in that baseline dial tone. As we said, it will exist for almost every customer that you bring on, so you know that license requirement is going to be there. Depending on the verticals that you're working in, you may feel very confident about the longevity of your call center customers, and this is the voice call center propositions, both standard and premium. So you can see those composite packages that we put together, and if you're unsure of what goes into it, it'll include the hosted PBX services, some of our application services that go with it, and call recording, etc. Do check that out with your channel manager when you're looking at these Eternity prices. But by buying that suite of services put into the call center agent standard and premium packs, you again then can write those capital expenditure costs down over 3 or 5 years and deliver yourself a lower ongoing cost for those products going forward. We still include it in the voicemail service, we still include it on the call recording service, and for those of you who are still utilizing and adding the BLF service for some of the handset services, again that is an option for you. The final one to say is that it also exists on the Smart Mobility Pack. This is the combination of the Smart User and the mobility services and the Unity Unity mobile product, which goes to make up that over-the-top proposition that you can put on any of your smartphone or your customers' smartphone services. So those are the propositions. How to order. How to order is really quite easy. If you'd like to email us your requirement, and you obviously discuss it with your channel manager, but just email in a requirement for the items on your itinerary or your list of licenses that you want to buy. Send them through to us, and we'll run the order through. It's all managed by UBOS, and it'll all appear on your normal invoicing statements. I'll sum it up. As I said, it's a mathematical exercise. It's a very prudent exercise. Why would you consider using the eternity license structure that we offer our partners? Well, the first one is if you're looking to ensure that your installed base is running in the future at the lowest possible wholesale cost, therefore allowing you either margin flexibility or the ability to state higher margins. That's one of the great reasons. You could increase the reportable margin on day one, i.e. you can factor them over a longer period of time and report a greater margin call, a greater profitability in the shorter term. Certainly it's going to improve your valuation of the business going forward, because the marriage between your costs and your sales revenue is going to be much more attractive. And finally, and I think this is quite an important one, and certainly you'll see as we come back from the summer, we'll be turning our attention to supporting you on this. We can all have a focus on those higher revenue, higher ARPU products that make that peak performance stack that we were talking about at the partner day. So by taking the table stakes and making them a firm, solid element of your existing base at the lowest possible cost price, we can all turn our attention to the upsell and the cross-sell of some of these more elegant products and creating that margin growth, which is going to be our pension schemes in the future, perhaps. So that's really all we're looking to cover today. I'm sure you will want to sit down in a little bit more detail with your channel managers to talk about how that might impact either now for you or maybe in 12 months once you've migrated a base of your mobile or other customers across to the cloud services. But do please bear this in mind when we're talking about competitive pricing, when we're talking about the value of the business, when we're talking about the eventual value of focusing on this professional selling of combined communication services in the cloud. Eternity licenses will give you a real advantage and an opportunity to capitalize on the hard work that you put in. I'm going to look across to my colleagues to see if we've got into it. Mathematically, I've bamboozled you, or you knew this stuff already. So I haven't got any questions at the moment, but do please feel free to reach out to me personally and request a conversation just to sit down and go through the detail of what difference would it make to my margin going forward, and how do I go about applying this within the UBOS environment, or reading it within the UBOS environment going forward. For now, that's it. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for joining us again, and I look forward to seeing you at the very next webinar, which will be advertised to you shortly. Bye for now.